Hey everybody, coming to you live today on this Wednesday, fine Wednesday actually, pretty good Wednesday. We're going to talk a little bit today about stuff that's been happening, things that I've been up to over the last week since I went live before. I went live last week. I talked a little bit about my beach trip and some of the things upcoming, things that I've been prepping for in school, things that have been happening just around me in general. So now we're going to get back into it today. So we're going to talk a little bit about some personal stuff, some professional stuff, all that good stuff. For the first thing, you notice my picture. I had my Oculus Rift headset on, or Quest, excuse me. And yeah, so I haven't really played with this thing for a while since coronavirus hit, maybe once or twice, but I took it out the other day and I've been playing around with it again. Man, this thing is so much fun. Just been playing around with it again, like getting acquainted to it. I did a video maybe like 2 months back about using this outside. And that was really the last time I'd used the set. But man, just getting back in here, it really is such an amazing piece of technology. And one of the cool things is that apparently I've read that they're coming out with another one, a new one, an updated version, which I feel like is quick because this is like a year old, like barely. So it's kind of interesting. They've already said they're coming out with a new one, but Oculus did an awesome job with this piece of tech, so I really love this thing. If you're not familiar with the Quest or you've never used one before, I totally recommend that you find someone that can use this, because I can't explain how cool virtual reality is. It's really one of those things that you gotta kind of like go in and use for yourself, or you're just not gonna get it. I can't tell you that it's cool. Like, go try it out. It really is something fascinating, so check that out. Okay, so let me get to my kids right now. So my kids were supposed to start school yesterday. Was their first day of school. And so far they have not had school. Both days, actually yesterday and today, have both been canceled. So that's how, 2020 is going really well. We've had 2 days of school so far and they've both been canceled. Why have they been canceled? Not because of coronavirus. They've been canceled because we had a hurricane. So let me talk a little bit about that. So, I live Wilmington. For some reason, we love to get hit by hurricanes. And this one was actually a tropical storm coming in. We've been watching it as we do when we live here. And me and my family, we evacuate from these things whenever we have them. We're out of here. I'm not hanging around for a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 storm. I'm out of here. A 1, I'm probably taking off 2 if it's going to be a direct hit. I'm just not a big fan of these storms. I didn't grow up with them. I don't like what they do. I'd rather just be comfortable at like my parents' house, even though it's an 8-hour drive, for like a couple days, than have to be going through what I went through on Tuesday night, Monday night into Tuesday morning. So let's talk about it. So we're watching the storm. Storm's coming. It's a tropical storm, which is really nothing. I mean, that's like not a big deal, right? So, but then they started calling that the storm, if you're going to evacuate from these things, you really got to evacuate about 24 hours before the storm's coming. You need to leave the area or you might get stuck. So you got to take off. So we decided we were going to stay for this one. It's a storm. And we'd stayed for some others. We thought this one will be a storm and it's not going to be too bad. So as the storm's getting closer, the thing starts to get more powerful. It forms to a hurricane. Then forms into possibly a Category 2 hurricane when it hits. It started around 8 p.m. that night is when like the main part of it hit, and it pretty much just sucked the whole entire time. Just if you've never experienced a hurricane, just imagine like loud wind, house like shaking, all that kind of stuff. The thing that really was bad about this one, it happened at night. So you can't like see what's happening, and you also can't really go to sleep because it's so loud and it's kind of scary. So you can't go to sleep, which is just not fun. Kids, okay, so my kids, we didn't tell them anything was coming. We just told them they were sleeping in the living room, like sleepover fun. They literally were in bed by like 8, 9 o'clock. Woke up the next morning, had no clue that the hurricane even came, no clue, just completely out of it, which is hilarious. Me and my wife, on the other hand, did have a clue, so it was not fun. I completely was awake until like 2 a.m. The storm ended around 2, but man, the noises on my roof and outside were crazy. Just not fun, not something you want to experience. Now, here's the crazy thing about this storm, and I'll tell you about if I had any damage or anything. These storms produce tornadoes. Now, generally with a hurricane, tornadoes are pretty, they're not like, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz tornadoes. They're like tornado that will take down some branches on a tree, rip up your mailbox, maybe get some siding off your house, maybe take some roof shingles. The tornadoes produced by this storm were some of the most powerful tornadoes ever produced by a hurricane. My house was hit last year from Dorian with a tornado. My house was hit with a tornado, but it just took some roof shingles. Not a big deal. And, oh yeah, part of my fence. That was super fun for me to rebuild. But, so this storm produced, I just say there's 5 levels of tornadoes. It produced the 3rd level, which is absolutely insane. That a hurricane produced this level of tornadoes. My house was not hit by a tornado, so I'm grateful for that. But man, that's scary. That's freaky stuff. That category, or it's called EF3 of a tornado, will take your house. Literally take your house. We don't have basements where I live because our land is all we're on sand, so we don't have basements. So there's nowhere you'd even hide. That category of tornado will take your house. Boom, house gone. So totally not fun, right? Literally will take your house. So we are definitely not staying for any more storms. No way. No way. I'm out of here if more storms come. Okay. Damage to my house. We had some roof shingles that came off, which were, I don't know. I called the insurance adjuster today. They got to come out, and they're going to do their whole song and dance where they don't want to get me a new roof, even though I should get a new roof because they have to pay for it. So I'm going to have to deal with that. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with my roof, because who knows what's going to happen when this insurance adjuster, I don't know when the guy's supposed to call me because they're all really busy. Hopefully it's pretty soon because I don't want to deal with it. All right, next super fun. Okay, so that's hurricane. That's my damage that we had. So really nothing bad. My roof has some shingles off of it, but we're completely fine. Oh, you know what really, really was not fun about the storm? So we didn't have any power. Our power got knocked out around midnight Monday night. It didn't come on until 7 p.m. last night. That meant all day yesterday when it was 96 degrees outside and super high humidity, we were just like dying of heat. Super not fun. And there were people that had to sleep like that all night last night because their power wasn't on this morning. They were on the community Facebook pages talking about how they didn't have any power. I just couldn't imagine. I feel bad. That would have totally, totally just been terrible. So I'm really lucky that I got to sleep with power. So that's big hurricane stuff that just happened. Totally not fun. Just really sucked, man. Just not fun stuff. Okay, so that's hurricane. Let's talk about other stuff that's happening. So, so my kids totally didn't have school yesterday for the first day. They did not have school today because all the schools were canceled because of power outages. So they're supposed to have their first day of school tomorrow, which is really cool, really exciting. And their school is completely online. So what I need to do is I need to show you guys, I need to do a video and show you guys. So what we did is we set up like a learning station in my son's room for their for school for them. So I need to show you guys my kids' room that we set up for them. It's like we put all the kids in one bedroom and we took one of their bedrooms over and set it up as a school. So I need to show you guys. We got like a little desks for them. The school gave them iPads. Actually pretty cool. They're excited to they're just as excited as if they were going in. So, they're doing the best they can, which is good. So I will show you guys what that looks like. Not right now, not today, but maybe another session I will do from my kids' room so I can talk about that. All right. Because for these live sessions, I'm using my phone, which I can totally just bring anywhere with me. Okay, so that's kids' school. It starts tomorrow. We're kind of excited to see how that happens. As far as I've been talking about coronavirus for so long. Cases in my state seem to be dwindling or going down, and I'm hoping that's due to us finally using masks, which I know I've been talking about this way too much, but it's just frustrating that we're still dealing with this. Maybe it's because people are using masks. I'm hoping. So hopefully there's something there and we're on to something that's going to work, that's going to help us get through that disaster. I just talked about a hurricane. Now I'm on the coronavirus. Now we need to talk about something else. I need to talk about some other stuff. So let me talk about things that are happening with me as far as like work wise. So first of all, this is strange. I thought this was strange. I got an email about a meeting, and in the meeting it asked, do we want to attend live in person or via Zoom? And I just thought it was unusual because here's why I thought it was strange. First of all, we're not really supposed to be I didn't think we were supposed to have meetings. Like, what? I didn't think we were going to meet in person unless like there was a need to. Like, we're totally trying to social distance. Plus, I think there'd be more people at this meeting than like we are allowed. I think you're only allowed 10 people in a room. There was more people invited, so I didn't understand that. But anyway, I just responded that I would be attending virtually. So I will see how that goes, but that's interesting. And then, so that's one thing. I have been prepping. So I'm teaching my first esports, not my first gaming course. Obviously, I've been teaching gaming for over 10 years, game design and stuff. So, my first esports course is being taught this semester. I'm really excited about that. I have been prepping it. For those of you that don't realize what goes into prepping a course, oh my goodness, it is so much. I gotta think of what are all the assignments? What are the students going to be doing each week of the course? What are their assignments and activities in class are they going to be doing each week of the course? And then I got to develop each of those weeks. And the thing is, the way I operate, when the student starts my class, I like to have every single week developed. So it's all there for them. And I teach my courses online. So like all the content is there. It's all online for my students. But so it's a super tremendous amount of work for me to do that. Just because I know when the semester starts, I'm going to be like in meetings, I'm going to be working on whatever I got to work on, I'll be advising students, I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff. So I got to get this done now. So the next few weeks for me are like crazy, crazy busy because we start college August 19th. That's 15 days from now. That's insane that it's that quick. It's like coming. I'm still in summer mode, although I'm working all the time now, so I'm not necessarily... But yeah, it's a lot. So I've got that. So I'm prepping my class, but the course prep is actually going really well, and I'm really excited about this course. It's a really cool course. I actually wish that I was taking the course rather than developing it. It seems like it's a pretty fun course. It's like I almost can't believe that courses like this, because it's on esports, and this is an introduction to esports. So it basically covers like, we have a certificate program. We started this certificate program, and it's basically the introduction course is kind of like each piece of the certificate program in one general overview. So it's like this overview of esports, and it's a really cool course. It's really informative. It's really good for the students, and it's fun. It's like going to be a cool course. Like the content's just awesome. So in this certificate, the way I designed it is basically each course, what the students are going to do is they're going to develop something for their portfolio. So by the end of the esports certificate program, they're going to have like internships, some real experience with stuff in our club, and they're going to have this portfolio that they can go into job interviews and show someone what they can do. Now, obviously, like jobs in esports vary based on what you're interested in. Like if someone's interested in like being a streamer, then that's what they're going to focus on. But someone else could be interested in marketing. But in this course, what they're going to develop is they are going to develop at least as of right now, first of all, they're developing a resume because it's the first course. So they're going to get their resume. That way, as they go through the rest of the certificate, they can just fill that out. So they're developing a resume, and then what they're going to develop is throughout the course, each time we cover a topic, they're going to create this giant presentation. And the presentation is what I call a MOAP, mother of all presentations. And basically what that means is it'll be this presentation that's going to have tons of information, like what is esports, what are some of the numbers and statistics around esports? Tell me about the technology used to build esports facilities and stuff like that. And so this presentation is going to have all kinds of different information. So the point of that project is that when a student goes into a company and the company says for their interview, hey, we want you to present on like esports for 5 minutes, they're going to be able to pull a certain section of that, or we wanted you to talk about marketing and esports they're going to be able to pull the marketing section out of that presentation and use that as their presentation. They'll probably have to edit it a little bit, but the key is they have this MOAP, because I have a MOAP for every topic, and that's the mother of all presentations. What am I? It's like my main presentation, then I just modify it for each time I use it. Kind of like what I have for like a letter recommendation. Like I have a letter recommendation that I modify for each student, like a little bit. Same kind of thing. So basically they're going to develop that. So those are the two key assignments that I think they're going to have in the course. And then they're going to have other stuff there, little things they're going to develop here and there. But those are the two big things from my first course. So I'm actually really excited that I have that nailed down. Now, so that reminds me, over the next like 2 weeks, you're going to see a bunch of esports videos, because I am going to be developing content like crazy for this course. So my YouTube channel is going to be inundated with esports. So get ready. So that's kind of cool. Pretty exciting. So I'm excited about the semester starting, excited about starting that class. Esports Club is going well. We're going to actually meet this Friday. I'm meeting with all the officers. I want to talk about the fall semester, all the stuff I've been working on and doing towards us getting like a varsity esports team and stuff like that. So pretty cool. I also got the feedback from my my summer course from my students, which is kind of cool. So what they said is they really enjoyed me doing the learning live sessions. So I'm going to be doing learning live sessions all this semester. I don't know if I'm going to do it every week, but most weeks I'm going to do it. I'm teaching 2 classes, so I'm probably going to do like one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, something like that. You know, the Tuesday one will be on the one course, the Thursday one will be in the one other course. So the 2 topics I'm teaching are instructional technology and esports. So I'll do like one a week on each one of those, which I think will be pretty cool for all my students to get a chance to just have some live content about what we're talking about that week, in addition to what they're seeing. And you all can join too, which I think is always good. So yeah, that's about it. So other things going on. I tried to go surfing this morning, but man, I got there. So I checked the cams. I texting one of my buddies who's also a professor. And we're texting and we're like, oh, the cams look pretty good. Let's go surfing. So we get to the beach. I see he's already in the water. So I'm like, all right, great. I noticed no other surfers are out. And I'm like, what the heck? But he's in the water. So I paddle out. Oh man, the waves died. From the time I drove to the beach, waves died. But what I did find at the beach was someone walking their dog. And I was reminded, so listen to this. This is kind of funny. So I'm at the beach maybe this is like a month ago probably, and my wife's bag is sitting there. This dog literally runs up to her backpack and pees on it as the owner's chasing, going, no! It was like slow motion in the movie. The guy's like, no! And the dog pees on my wife's backpack. The guy, I was gonna yell at the guy and be like, you know, what are you doing? Why isn't your dog on a leash? That kind of thing. But the guy was so upset that I just felt terrible for this guy. And I was like, okay. And he could clean the bag, and he was like, what can I do for you? And I was just like, please take your dog and go. That's what you can do. But every time, so we go to a beach, Topsail, and a Topsail, you're allowed to bring dogs. And bringing dogs to a beach is amazing. Dogs love it. They can run around. It's a great exercise for them. They get outside. They can play in the water. When you do that in February, now, when you do that, so when I see a dog owner with a dog on the beach in February, they love it. When I see a dog owner on the beach in July, that person looks like they are having the worst experience ever and are like, why did I bring my dog to the beach? And let me tell you why. So first of all, you got to have the dog on a leash the whole time, because there's too many people on the beach. You can't just let the dog run. So you got to have the dog on the leash. So the person's holding their dog on a leash. It just looks like the worst idea ever to do that. So it's hilarious, but it literally just looks like the worst thing ever to have a dog on the beach in the middle of the summer. Just unless there's no one there. It just looks like a terrible, I see everyone, their face looks like, it's like when you wore a suit to the beach, and you should have just had a bathing suit, but you wore a full suit, you wore the wrong clothes. That's what it looks like when someone brings their dog to the beach when there's tons of people there. It's like they should just know they made a mistake. It's just there. I feel so bad for the dog, and I feel bad for the person. It's kind of funny, but not. So anyway, I don't know why that just came up right now, but it did. So yeah, so that's been my week so far. So absolutely insane. We literally had a hurricane like 20 uh, less than 48 hours ago, exactly 48 hours ago, was coming. Like, I was like nervous, like, what's going on? That also, why that really, I hated it, is that I lost like about a day and a half of work. So, like, Monday, while it was coming, I had to like prep my house. You got to like do all this stuff. So, I was like all nervous and stuff. So, I couldn't get a lot of work done. Then, yesterday we didn't have power. I had to clean up. I got nothing done, and I didn't sleep at all the night before. Just terrible. Oh, yeah, so anyway, that sucks. But something else is kind of cool. So I know I've talked about it before, but I took this puppy out, charged it up, and I'm going to take it out on my paddleboard. So you're going to get to see some surfing videos soon. This is like a little floaty thing on the back of the GoPro. But it's all charged up. Yeah, I'm gonna take it out. The last time I had a GoPro out, I got 16 stitches on my hand, which was super fun. Can you see the scar? Oh yeah, we can see the scar. Yep, right there. Yes, super, super fun. But I'm gonna put it on, instead of it being on my surfboard, it's gonna be on my paddleboard. So I think it'll be a little better. We shall see, at least. But I do want to take it out one time when it's like pretty calm and just see like what it's like again, and get some new video of myself surfing, because I think it's pretty funny and cool to see that. I look back at some of the videos sometimes and I'm like, wow, that was a pretty cool like day in the water. Like, that's pretty awesome. And I remember, it like helps me remember the surf session, which is kind of cool, because I totally can't remember all of them, even though I'd like to. So yeah, I made this post, and it reminded me about surfing. I made this post today on LinkedIn, and basically the gist of the post was that, you see all these resumes all day long, but it's not always the resume that impresses me about people. Sometimes it's things that are outside the scope of their job that impress me most about someone. For example, like, I look at 5 people and I look at their resume, and man, each one of them looks like they just ruled their last company. Like, they got, especially like as a professor, man, I look at everybody's resume. They've got like publications out the wazoo. They've written a grant. They've got like a book or book chapters. They're presenting all over the place. I mean, they've got teaching experience. It's like, I'm just looking at like the best of the best, man. These people are like amazing. So like, when I hear that one of them also is like a parent, or one of them's like a teacher of something, or involved in this volunteer activity, that kind of stuff actually makes a big difference, because I'm like, okay, so in addition to that super impressive resume, this person's doing all kinds of stuff like outside their job. Like, I look at myself, I've got 3 kids. I went surfing today. Like, just doing stuff, whatever it is, whatever that person's interested in. They knitted shirts, a bunch of shirts this year. Whatever cool thing they like to do, whatever that may be, I like to see that they do something. Doesn't matter what it is, but just matters that they do something. Because I like to see that. I think it's super important. Now, I'm not saying I would hire or fire someone based on that whatsoever. I just am saying that I think that it's fascinating, and I think that it says a lot about someone's CV or resume when they have some of that additional stuff that they do. Or to tell us a little bit about their personal life. I'm very curious about that. It's one of the things, it's almost like taboo in like they tell us in like a job interview, like I can't ask someone, it's kind of weird. And I should do like a whole video on this, but like, or a whole session on this. Like, you can't ask someone if they're married. I can't ask them if they have kids. I can't ask them about like the activities they like outside of work, which is just super strange. Like, I want to know what people do. I want to know who this person is. So, like, I also can't ask them if, like, they do anything illegal outside of work. Like, you can't ask them anything. It's very weird. And they say it's because, like, well, maybe they could come back and say like, you didn't hire me because I said I was married, or you said I wasn't married, or you didn't hire me because I said I had a kid, or you didn't hire me because I said I didn't have a kid, like that kind of stuff. But you gotta get the picture of the whole. It's just such a weird society we're in with like lawsuits about like every single thing. Like, so like the person can tell me that they're married, but I can't ask them. I don't know. They say it doesn't apply to the job, and it doesn't. But I just want to know the person. When we have someone come, I got to spend a whole day or two with this person. I want to ask them a little bit about themselves. Like, what do you do for fun? What are your activities? Like, what do you do when you go home? I mean, I don't need details, but like, give me some ideas. Like, do you, I don't know. Do you go out for happy hour? Do you go out for dinners? Do you play golf? Do you like going and watching baseball? Whatever it is, I don't know. Do you like being your kid's soccer coach? Do you have kids and you're the soccer coach? I don't know. I mean, that's like cool stuff to hear about. And it also gives you like things to talk to someone about. Because like what I personally do, and the reason I guess I like to find this is whatever someone does, I will find some way that it relates to me somehow, and I'll find a common interest. And then I can talk to that. We like have formed a bond. Boom. So like the best thing you can do as like a person getting interviewed is like form a bond with those people, because they'll want to hire you. So it's kind of strange that we're in like, I don't know. I'm the way we're going. I'm very curious to see what job interviews are like in the future. Like I can't ask anybody any questions unless like they're all scripted. It's very strange. It's very like a job interview. You kind of like, I gotta live with this person almost like their roommate to an extent. Like they're gonna be next to my office and like working on a team, and like I can't find out about them. I don't know. I don't get that. That's something that is weird to me. So anyway, whatever. I follow the rules. I do what I'm supposed to do. That doesn't mean I always have to agree with it or always have to like it. But I am one that will do what I'm supposed to do. So anyway, I think that's about it. It's about it for today. Coming up, so next week, I've got an interview with, if you're not familiar with Lucas Gillespie, Lucas is a former graduate of my master's program, and he is pretty much like the first guy to do like big gamification stuff in the classroom. He kind of started like World of Warcraft in schools in the '00s, the 2000s, and he's been doing tons of cool stuff with gamification. Now he's in esports. I want to talk to Lucas, and I really just want to find out, like, how the heck did he get parents to agree to allow their kids to play World of Warcraft in schools in, like, 2010? Like, that is an amazing story. So I want to hear Lucas's story because I think Lucas is a pretty amazing person. So then, coming up after that, I've got an interview the following week with my Dean of Education, which I think is really cool because I want to find out, and I talked about this last video, I think. I want to find out what a dean does, and find out about like college leadership in general that like I don't know about. And I'm a professor, and like I guess I know what a dean does. They like manage all the finances and stuff of faculty, I guess. But like, what is like the big picture of their job, and how do you like get to that position? I don't know. Like when I was a kid and I'd hear like what a dean did in like a movie, it sounds like you like run the university or something. So like, I remember seeing movies as a kid, and like the dean of like was like a big powerful position. So is it? I mean, I'm gonna ask those kind of questions. So the next 2 weeks I've got interviews lined up. I didn't have any interviews last week, and that was mostly because I had 2 the week before, and I was away for a week. And then I didn't have any this week because of the hurricane was coming, and so I didn't want to really schedule any. I'm still getting caught up. And 2, the people I asked happened to schedule them out a couple weeks in advance. So that's all. So yeah, I'm not really trying to do one a week. I'm just trying to do them so as they come. So anyway, y'all, that's kind of the big stuff happening around me. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope you have a good rest of the week. I can't believe, I'm like shocked that it feels like Monday and it's Wednesday. It feels like the weekend just happened because of the storm. So it was literally Wednesday. We're like at midweek. So I will probably not be back this week. I'll be back on next week. We'll see. Who knows? I never know my schedule. So And I don't like having these schedules. Oh, one thing I do want to say, I know I keep coming back. If you are watching this and you are interested in ever jumping on one of my reflection days like this, where I just am talking about things happening in my life and stuff, I'm interested in bringing some people on for like some banter, some conversation. If you're like, I would like to jump on and comment on what he's doing, or just us just have some like loose conversation during this, let me know. Send me a message because I'll let you on. I'll really let anyone come on while I'm doing this because I think it'd be kind of fun. Um, I just want to try out and see what it's like to have some people on when I do this kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, let me know. You are more than welcome to at least come on and make an appearance one time. So anyway, that is it. We are at 30 minutes. That's beyond my time that I want to do this kind of thing. So later all.